This episode of the Gamerheads Podcast is brought to you by Seven Bridges Premium Gourmet Yum Yum Sauce. Enhance every bite with our savory blends of flavors, perfect for meats, vegetables, and crispy treats. Whether you're dipping, drizzling, marinating, grilling, roasting, or snacking, Seven Bridges Yum Yum Sauce takes your culinary experience to the next level. Get yours today and make every meal a gourmet delight.
Hi, I'm Celia Schilling from Yacht Club Games.
Hey, this is James from Megacat Studios.
Hey folks, this is Matt, aka Stormageddon from Reignite and the Fun and Games Podcast.
This is Stephanie from the Boss Rush Podcast and the Boss Rush Network.
Hey, this is Mark and Keon from Bunte Avond.
Hey, this is Sebastian with the ProNerdReport.com and the Single Player Experience Podcast.
Hi, this is Chris.
Mike.
And Garrett from Daylight Basement Studio.
Hey, this is Baron J67 from Level 1 Gaming.
Hi, I'm Jacob McCourt from the Left Behind Game Club, Crossplay Conversations, and Video Game Trivia.
Hey, this is Todd Mitchell from Code Right Play.
Salutations, this is Mike Carroll from Stroll Art.
Hey, this is Jeff Moonen from Fun and Games Podcast.
What's good, y'all? This is Adam from Respawn Aimfire.
Hey, this is Patrick from the Backlog Odyssey.
Hey, this is Rune from Runic Codes.
Hi, this is Andrew from Spalato Bros.
Hi, everyone. Jill Grote here from the Indie Informer.
Hello, this is the Crypt Master, and you're listening to Roger You're listening to Roger on the Gamerheads Podcast.
Fast forwarding.
We're at now.
Yes, we are at now.
Are we gonna do this whole spiel, or are we just gonna do the
show? I don't know. Let's see how it all plays out.
Yeah. Welcome to another episode of the Gamerheads Podcast. Hello, everybody. I am Mike. Joining me once again, I am Mike. Why is that so funny?
Oh, it's just amusing that somehow we still can botch an open every single week, even though we've been doing this for the last 4 years. And now that we're Rogerless, it just becomes chaos, and I'm not cutting off Roger during the opening anymore. Now I'm just randomly talking through the opening instead.
That's true. That's Phil, by the way, everybody. Say hi, Phil.
Hi, Phil.
Yeah. Roger is once again out and about. He's not joining us once again. Like I said, he'll be out for a little bit. This time, he is over in Georgia. He found out that there's a hurricane, so he said he's going to take it on himself. So he's running into the hurricane with an American flag.
Wow, that's mighty brave of him.
Yeah, he's a badass, man.
That's what that says on the back of his wrestling tights.
That's he's wearing those this time too, and that's well, no. I'm sorry, elbow pads too.
Well, you gotta have the elbow pads. You might get hit by a shark that gets kicked out of the water in a hurricane.
That's true. That is true. I haven't seen any of those movies, by the way, the Sharknadoes and stuff.
I think I saw the first two.
Yeah.
Also, who are you that's hosting the show this week, sir? Now that we know that I'm Phil.
Yeah. By the way, I want to call out. We joke about it, but we hope everybody that's affected by that hurricane and the storms, ensuing storms are okay, and there's no real damage, and everyone's all right. So stay safe out there.
Hurricanes aren't real, man.
Yep.
Nature's propaganda.
Nature's propaganda. That sounds like the tagline for like some kind of orange juice or something.
Nature's propaganda.
Anyway, all right, well, let's get into video games. All right, so we'll start things off with an icebreaker. We are, by the time you hear this, it will be already October, so we are well into spooky season, which is my favorite time of year. Phil, Are you a fan of horror movies?
I like some horror movies.
You like some horror
movies? I like a lot of horror movies. I just don't get to watch much of them any longer because my significant other says real life is scary enough. Why would I want to watch fake scary?
Yeah. That's a good point, but sometimes fake scary is fun.
Fake scary is definitely fun because fake scary can't hurt you.
That's right. Yeah, I got nothing. Okay, so last week when we were talking about what we were playing, I mentioned that I played through The Quarry, Supermassive Game. And those types of games are kind of like almost like interactive movies / pointy clicky games. But there's a lot of different endings that you can get, a lot of different outcomes based on your choices. So my icebreaker is, if Supermassive Games made a video game based on any established horror movie franchise. What would you like to see? You don't need to give me just one. Give me however many you think you'd like to see.
Well, there's all the obvious tried and true ones that come to mind immediately, being Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. All of your classics are right there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And weirdly enough, one of the first answers that came to my mind when you asked that question was Ghost Ship.
Oh.
But then I realized that the Man of Medan is an awful lot like Ghost Ship already was, so they've kind of already touched on that one. So I don't know if I can necessarily use Ghost Ship. But in that same vein, that movie 13 Ghosts.
I did say franchise.
Oh, true. So I can't just do a one-off like that, is what you're saying.
I don't know. You could do whatever you want. I don't care. Make it be on my Alvin and the Chipmunks the movie. See, I'm bringing it back.
I don't even remember the Alvin and the Chipmunks reference. Roger brought it up in group chat.
I didn't remember.
Just like,
Roger brought it up in the chat.
What franchise would I like to see made into it? And it doesn't necessarily even need to be horror now that I stop and think about that. I want to see Major League, damn it.
Major League?
Yes. I want to play through Major League.
I was literally just having a conversation with my son about Major League today. Like, not even joking, because tomorrow during his high school football game, he's going to be they're recording it, and he's going to be doing commentary during the game. And I said, you need to I said, why don't you
Bob Uecker?
Yes, I said, you need to emulate Bob Uecker. And I told him just a bit outside, and all that other fun stuff.
Mm-hmm. Major League makes my list. God, now I want to hear this commentary track if your son does go down that route and drop all the Bob Ueckerisms.
Yeah. I'll say this. It doesn't have to be a franchise, because I'm thinking of horror movies that are not franchise. And I'll be like, okay, so then I'll just, yeah.
So then I can go back to 13 Ghosts.
13 Ghosts? Man, that's a good one.
Just because some of the death in that was tremendous. So was the death in Ghost Ship as well.
Let me ask you this. While you're thinking. 13 Ghosts versus House on Haunted Hill.
I'll take 13 Ghosts personally.
See, I'd take House on Haunted Hill.
You know what I'd like to see as a franchise that gets done supermassived up? I'm going to resort to an old faithful and an old standby of mine. I want to see a Scooby-Doo where I'm solving mysteries.
Oh, yeah, but you don't want them all killed off.
No, but you could do it in a non-killy-offy type of a way.
Where they get captured by the villain?
Yeah, or even a Buffy the Vampire Slayer style Supermassive Games. I think that might be kind of fun. Or even Supernatural if we're going to stay along those lines too.
Only up to the first 5 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Once you get past that, we won't get into that. That's, yeah.
Was that when they all went to heaven or hell, or heaven and hell?
Well, the show went to hell after the after the 5th season ended. I'd like to apologize to all our Supernatural fans out there, but I'm right.
Absolutely. So yeah, those are a couple that just come to my mind immediately. But now I really want a Major League one. Now that I said that out loud, just to kind of like play through the shenanigans of that, and not even like where people are getting killed off. But I wish I could remember the name of the owner in the movies. Maybe she starts lopping people from the franchise. Like, Nope, sorry, Dorn, you're gone. You made the wrong choice. Mm-hmm. Wild thing, you thought you were in business. Turns out you're not. You and your Vegematic haircut. Willie Mays Hayes.
Final boss.
You also run like Hayes or run like Mays, but hit like shit. So you're gone. Yeah, those are the ones that I'm coming up with. What about yourself?
I like them. You know what I think would be interesting would be a Blair Witch Supermassive game.
Yeah, that's what you could easily kill people off in.
Yeah, that's got an interesting lore behind it. Let's see. The Conjuring franchise.
Oh, yeah. I also thought Saw, but I figured that was too cliche.
Saw would be a great one, because Saw is all about making decisions.
Well, Saw is also very similar to the most recent one that they did that's not the one that's based on Dead by Daylight, because it's all in a house, a murder house type of a thing. So that's why I kind of eliminated that one from my own brain, too.
Gotcha. I would definitely, and this wouldn't lean into much the horror as it would be the comedy, Killer Clowns, man.
Yep, I thought about that too.
That would be a fun. And that one I wouldn't mind if the characters get killed off, because like I said, it hit me emotionally when my characters died. But if it's Killer Clowns, that'll be fun.
Yeah, most definitely. They just added Elvira and somebody else to that game.
Tom Savini.
Today. Tom Savini, that's who it was.
Yeah, that's cool. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
What else? Do you remember? You ever seen Critters?
Yes.
I loved Critters, the first two.
Ooh, Tremors would be fun as well.
Tremors, that would be a cool Supermassive game. Yeah, especially with like the standing still and not choosing when to run and all that stuff. So, yeah, I think those would be my picks. I think that's, yeah.
It's a deep well when you really pause and think about it as to how they could do this. Hellraiser would also be fun.
Hellraiser, yeah, that would be messed up.
It's basically
those Hellraiser movies are all jacked up. Yeah,
yes, they are.
Basically, any slasher would work. So
yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, yep, that was our icebreaker. That was fun. Supermassive really should get some licensed games or
some rights.
Yeah, rights to something. There was a rumor that they were working on a Scream game.
I remember hearing that too.
Yeah, but anyway, all right. So let's move on and since we're in October, let's talk about what games are coming out this month. So Phil, I sent you a list. I'll go first. So the games that I'm looking forward to, there's this Quiet Place game that's coming out this month, and I'm a little cautious about it because there hasn't been like a whole lot of buzz behind it. No real like major trailer. I saw one like short trailer for it. But I think the Quiet Place is that franchise is a pretty smart one. Actually, I think that might be a good Supermassive game too.
It would be.
Yeah. I like the idea of a game behind it where you have to just like be quiet. Would be I think it's a first person game. I don't know how they can make it work as like a first person shooter. So I'll be honest, I am not a fan of those first person horror games where all you do is hide and run and solve puzzles. I like to have
like
a little
Alien
bit of
Isolation.
Yeah. Well, Alien Isolation, you've got some weaponry. I'm talking like Outlast. Like that's what a lot, or Amnesia. I'm not a big fan of like where you are absolutely helpless.
Yeah, it does kind of a hang up. Also, like they're just too difficult a lot of the times too, in my opinion. And like I'm not very good at video games.
Yeah, it's annoying. Honestly, it is because you keep dying at the same spot. And it's like this ain't fair. That's what happened with me in Alien Isolation.
And that was on the first level, like me.
What's that?
I said that was on the first level, like it was with me.
No, it was the first level, and I know exactly the point. It was when the androids started like turning against you, and I had to walk into this big open area and just walk past this one. But even when I hid in the shadows, and no matter what I did, they always found me and started shooting at me.
Yeah, that over hyper AI.
Point. Yeah, the AI is too good. It's smarter than me. I didn't even get to the point where I'm hiding from the alien. I think I ran into it once. I think that was it, or I was introduced to it once, and then I couldn't even get further. That game was just. I'm probably just stupid, but that's also part of it. Anyway, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 only because it's on Game Pass. I wouldn't pay for it. No. I wouldn't play multiplayer. I would just get through the story mode and see how that is. And then this game I'm very much looking forward to, and it was just actually recently announced. I haven't played it, and I'm glad I never played it because now they're upgrading it, and that would be Darksiders 2 Definitive Edition.
Darksiders 2 was awesome.
I loved Darksiders 1. Awesome game. Absolutely loved it.
That's a franchise I really liked all of the games from, in all honesty. Like, they were fun.
Even the Genesis, that top-down one? Did you play that one?
Yeah, I did. Actually, Andy and I played through that at the beginning of COVID.
Oh, okay. So I'm looking forward to that because that's got a nice HD, fresh cone of paint, all that good stuff. So I'm very
shiny.
Yes. I think there were. I think that was it. That's it. That's all I got. Phil, how about you? What are you looking forward to?
My list is way different than yours, and part of it's just because nothing on the list really appealed to me. I'll probably download Call of Duty because, like you said, it's free on Game Pass. Why not? I'll probably even play online a handful of times and go, man, am I old? And then I'll quit playing. But I do like the NHL games. The NHL 25 comes out this month or next month. Well, this month when you listen to this. I don't really know what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed is.
It's based on the movie that came out last year.
Oh. Well,
So
I still might take a gander at it.
Maybe a gander would be good.
And then Life is Strange Double Exposure, because I do enjoy the Life is Strange games. I like that style of storytelling. They're very similar to like the old Telltale games, and I just like good storytelling sometimes in games, and not a lot of action, because sometimes my thumbs just don't keep up.
Cool.
But that's about what I've got on my list.
That's what you got? All right. So that's what's coming out in October. Looks like there's also some DLC for Blasphemous 2. I still need to play that game, because that's
Yeah, I
a
haven't played that
Metroidvania
either.
that's supposed to be good. Let's see, the Pokemon trading card game mobile version.
Ooh.
That I might consider that, because we still have a whole bunch of QR codes from Pokemon packs, and if those still work, then we'll just open up a ton of them.
Makes sense.
Yeah. No more Room in Hell. That looks like a good game, but that's on PC and it's early access, so I'll wait.
Yeah, that in PC doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah. That Dragon Ball, the new Dragon Ball fighting game. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, where they have like 150 characters you can play as.
Holy hell, really? It's that big?
I don't know if it's 150, but it's a lot. Maybe like 7 or 8.
That's close.
There's a SpongeBob game where you play as Patrick. That comes out this month as well. I'll have to see some reviews for that. Plus, I still need to play Cosmic Shake, but I was still very impressed by Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrate.
Battle for Bikini Bottom was awesome.
Yeah. And I would get Silent Hill 2, but I don't have a PS5.
That was my thoughts on that too. Because I think I definitely played through Silent Hill. That I did.
Mm-hmm. Not worth getting a PS5. I'll wait a year for it to come out on Xbox. Because I think it's just timed exclusivity.
I think you're right on that.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into what we've been playing. And I'll go first on this. So I've been playing some more. Actually, I started firing up Balatro again. And I'm working on maximizing one of my decks. So getting all the chips.
Yeah.
So I think I have 3 more before I get all of them on one. And it was close. Like on our last run through last night, I beat the 8th ante by 53 points or chips.
Holy hell, that's sweaty.
That was, and it was tough. Like I was like, okay, where like you really need to start doing the math in your head. And you're like, oh, if I do this, but if I do that, okay, but if I do this, what really saved me is that I saved one of my tarot cards till the very last hand, and the tarot card was like change 3 cards to clubs, and because of that, I was able to do a flush, and that's
nice.
That's what got me. But only because I waited till the last minute. So, been playing some Balatro, loving that. I love the soundtrack, even though I think it's just one 30-second tune looped over and over again, but I love it.
You'd never be able to convince me that it's not a 30-second tune, because as far as I can tell, it's an infinite song that just keeps going and going and going in all of its greatness.
Yep. Also been playing some Fortnite, and I can very proudly say I officially hit level 200.
Woo!
So I got all the characters and all the different skins.
The variations of the skins.
Different variations, yep. So very happy about that. I still got to play through it because there's still some quests where I get characters and stuff that I need to complete.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the first time I got to level 200 before my son did. So yeah.
Impressive. That's a GG to you.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm better than you, nerd. Give me your lunch money.
That I already gave you.
But Dad, it's all digital. I don't care. Also, like I sent you a picture yesterday, I have been playing some NHL Hits, and that game holds up.
Hell
Man,
yes.
does that game hold up? Playing it on the GameCube, it's It's so much fun. I love NHL hits, and I love coming back to it. It's just it's a perfect game. It just there is absolutely nothing wrong with it, and I just have so much fun getting those one timers, getting into fights, watching the replays. The soundtrack to that is awesome as well. So yeah, so I played some NHL hits, and then
more importantly than any of that, Tony Amani is in that game, and that is what matters in life.
I had no idea that you were a big fan of his, and it was such sheer coincidence that was the picture I sent.
Yeah, I love Tony Amani.
Mm-hmm.
Back in the old days, I used to have season tickets for the Wild because I live here in Minneapolis, and so it was a thing. Actually, we split them 4 ways, but I would always make sure that I had all Blackhawks games locked in, and then once he got traded to Phoenix, I had all Phoenix games locked in, and once he got traded to Philadelphia, I had all Philadelphia games locked in just so I could watch Tony Amani. In my opinion, one of the greatest two-way hockey players in the history of the game. Does not get the love that he deserves. That's all.
There you go.
I'm better.
That's the bottom line, right?
Yep.
Cool. So not only that, but I also got into another game that I think Roger would be very proud of me. I started playing Shovel Knight Dig.
Ooh.
And that's another rogue. I can't believe I'm starting to get into these roguelikes even more and more. I've always hated them so much, but Shovel Knight Dig, it's a lot of fun. It's basically each level is randomly generated, and you need to just basically dig down, get as much money as you can, fight bosses while outrunning a giant drill that's constantly following you. It's hard. It really is. It's a challenging game. But once again, like the more you play it, the more stuff you unlock and the better you get at your runs. And it's also got that, again, I don't know what is with me in music right now, but it's got that great soundtrack. It's got great animation, great pixel graphics. This Shovel Knight is like a 16-bit version, so he looks a lot cooler than the OG Shovel Knight, which is 8-ish bit.
8.75 bits.
Yeah. What's between 8 and 16? So like 12.
Yeah.
Like 12 bits, something like that. But still, Shovel Knight Dig, a lot of fun. I'm going to keep playing it. And I think that is it. Yep, that's it. That's all I've been playing.
You have covered a lot of ground this week as far as your games that you've been playing. What a productive week for you, Mike. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank you. I've been trying.
Pride is the right word, too.
Yeah.
As for myself, I took a hiatus from Overwatch for about 2 weeks because I got really annoyed with it. I've recently gotten back on the train because they're doing their anniversary celebration where you can unlock skins for free, which is not a thing that's very easily doable in Overwatch 2 these days. So I've gotten back into that to try to bang some of those out. Making some progress. Still, I'm highly annoyed by it, but that's neither here nor there. Talking of games that make you sweaty, I accomplished something yesterday that I have not done in, I'm going to say, 28 years. And I beat the first Crash Bandicoot.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
That game is brutally difficult as far as the platforming goes. And I'd forgotten how brutally difficult it is. And I remember 100%ing that back when it first came out. And I had fantasies about doing the same thing again this time. And then I got to like the third to last level and I'm like, no, not a chance in hell I'm going to put myself through that. My body's not going to go through that. Rachel's watching me play it as I'm swearing at things yesterday. And she goes, man, this game really gets you worked up. And I'm like, everything is just a micro inch off of being where it should be. And it just death.
Yeah.
It's harsh. I'm going to get into Crash 2 again next because I'm going to work my way through this trilogy because I love the Crash games. They're super fun. They're very well done. The remake/remaster that's on Game Pass right now, it looks gorgeous as well. So, I mean, it's a huge visual upgrade from where it was, but that challenge is still just sitting right there, punching you in the face the entire time and making you hate everything around you. There's no reason it should be as difficult as it is, but it is. But it's a good kind of a challenge where it just makes you feel good when you get a level wrapped up once you're outside of like the first 5 or 6.
Yeah. Nice. Are you going to play the fourth one then?
I've already played through the fourth one.
Oh, you did? Okay. Well, then never mind.
Yeah, I played through that back when Christian was still on the show, and there was a level in that almost made me lose what's left of my hair because it was just painfully difficult. I don't know if I'm ready to put myself through that again, but maybe I will just because. I don't know. Maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll get weird and get into Crash Team Racing and shit too.
Oh, you could spin it off into Spyro.
Yeah, they did re-release those on the Xbox systems too. I like the Spyro games too. God, platformers were so good in that day and age.
They were. And that's another, and I think I've mentioned this before on the show, because there's actually people are talking about, like, there's a video game crash going on right now, with all these studios shutting down and everything. And and I know I've said this before, but I think the problem is that there's too many of these AAA games that cost millions of dollars to make, and they spend years and years making. Just go back to what everything how everything was done in the PS2 era. Make these 3D platformers that were easy-ish to put together. You reuse the engine with some upgrades, so you can churn out a couple sequels over a period of 5 years.
Yep.
I don't know.
I wonder if, not to say the kids these days, but the kids these days would have the patience for games like that as they are.
Yeah.
Where it's kind of not really. I mean, back in those days they were a AAA game, but if you put out like a AA version of it, is what I'm going to call it. If the kids would have the patience for it.
That's true.
I don't know. Old farts like us would, but
yeah. Did you ever play through that Pumpkin Jack game?
No, I've been waiting for that to go on sale, and I have yet to see that go on sale.
Okay. I think it's on sale. I'm not joking.
On the Xbox?
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Because that's where the problem lies.
Yep.
Which I'm actually going to talk about that other thing here in a couple of minutes.
Pumpkin Jack. There it is. Let's see. No.
If it's cheap enough, maybe I would grab it on the...
the all-time low on the Xbox was $6.
I've never seen that. Maybe it's not on my wish list is why. I got to put that on my wish list.
Back in July, it was $6.
Damn it.
Well, I'm sure when Microsoft does their spooky sale, it might be on there. So listeners, if you highly recommend, I did actually a review for Pumpkin Jack, and I wonder where they can find that review.
I believe that review is in the archives at gamerheadspodcast.com.
Oh, that's right. You can go to gamerheadspodcast.com to check out my review of Pumpkin Jack from about, was that about 3 years already? 3 years ago? Great game.
I would guess and say 3 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was a great game. Honestly, if you're paying $6 for it, like, you're not doing the developer any favors. Like, the game is definitely worth at least double that. $20, I think, is a great price for that game. So if you're paying $6, it's a steal.
2 times 6 is 12, Mike, not 20.
Well, I'm sorry. My threshold would be $20. Like, if I'd say like the quality of the game, it'd be like a $20 game. But if this game released in 2002, I think it would have been a massive hit.
Would have been in the conversation of your Jack and Daxters and your Sly Coopers. Shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh, there it is. What else can people find on GamerheadsPodcast.com? Well, we briefly mentioned that, since we can find your old reviews on there as well as new reviews that are being written by a large handful of people these days.
That's right. We've got a review crew. We got a ton of reviews coming in. Roger wasn't kidding. Whew. There's a lot coming in. Yeah, you can go on to Gamerheads Podcast. You can check out the show and check out reviews, news, information.
There's also a link to our Patreon there as well, where you can join the Patreon, and for as little as $3 a month, you can also support Gamerheads Podcast.
That's
much like our friends Matt and Jill and Sarah.
And thank you for your patronage.
Patreonage?
Patreonage?
Outside of that, I also picked up my Switch, and I started playing my Switch this week. In my moment of shame. Don't look at me like that. I'm not a piece of meat, Mike.
I'm very proud of you.
I'm not. It's just going to get worse is the problem. So Carrington wants to do a show, so I don't really know if I should talk about this, because he hasn't... I mean, he still has K&K's Indie Gaming Corner, but he doesn't put out a ton of content. He's like, hey, I found this game that I think that you'd really like. It's called Resist times 1000 or something like that. Would you like to join me on the show and talk about it? And I'm like, sure, dude, I haven't been on your show in a while. We can go ahead and do something like that. I will go download this game. And so I downloaded something called Resist times 1000. And I put about an hour and a half into this game. And I believe the exact text that I sent to Carrington after an hour and a half is, what the hell kind of effing anime BS are you making me play right now? None of this makes any effing sense. What are you trying to do? I thought you liked me. Are you just trying to give me an effing headache? I'm not sure I like you anymore. It is, I'm going to call it a point-and-click adventure, kind of, where you control time. It's set in the future, but there's some kind of a plague/virus going around that is killing people off. And so you kind of got to bounce back and forth in time to solve the puzzles that are going on around you. It is very anime-like. It is written very anime-like. Most of it doesn't make any sense whatsoever to me. But the animation is really cool. The story is far too real for what we went through a couple of years ago.
Wow.
And I kind of got a feeling it was built off of the entire pandemic that happened. And they were kind of playing around with that. And like, I don't know the further you get into it, if you can change the outcome of it, but you're like keeping up. You're playing as when you go back in time, you play as a schoolgirl, but you're in the current time, you're playing as somebody who is a follower of the All-Mother. And the All-Mother is sending you on these quests to go do things. I don't know. Like I said, super convoluted anime stuff. It's on sale currently for $15 if that's something that you think you're into. I know I'm not doing a good job of selling it because A, it's not my style of game. B, it's really not my style of game. And C, it's on the Switch. So I'm not going to have the nicest things to say about this game. I'm going to put some more time into it before he and I actually record, just to see if maybe I can get to a hump where something clicks for me and I'm just like, all right, this game isn't as bad as I originally perceived it to be after about an hour and a half. But I also feel as though after about an hour and a half, if I can't get into a groove of a game, there's not a groove that's going to be had for me.
I never pegged you as to be a anime style fan.
Yeah, not in the slightest. I just think this is a giant rib on Carrington's behalf on me to get me to play something anime style. It teeters on a visual novel that you actually control the physical movements of the character and time. It's just not my style of game in the slightest bit.
So follow-up question.
Mm-hmm.
Not related to the game, related to because I'm just really gonna dig into you playing the Switch. So just gonna let you write this down. What would the Switch 2 have to offer for Phil to say yes, I'm getting this at launch?
For me to get it at launch, buy none, get 3 free.
So you don't buy it and they give you 3 Switch 2s.
Yeah, exactly. Not even games, just Switch 2s that I can turn around and sell on eBay and make my money back of zero.
That bad, huh?
What would it actually have to offer? It would need to be not as gimmicky as the actual Switch is. It would need to run like an quote-unquote actual console does and be more powerful than my cell phone.
Yep.
If Nintendo just gave me a system that was a system that wasn't full of cheap gimmicks, I'd be intrigued by it. And I'd be interested in it because as much as I kind of make fun of Switch and Nintendo games and things like that, I do enjoy the Mario franchises. Not franchises, but the Mario games, as far as like your core Mario games. I used to enjoy the Zelda games until they kind of became, again, a little too gimmicky as far as their presentation goes. It's not as straight up as it used to be, which even back in the old days, it wasn't super straight up. It was very innovative for the time. And I'll take that all the way up to like Wind Waker was the last Zelda game that I can say that I thoroughly enjoyed. But even that had a gimmick behind it, but it was a fun gimmick and it made sense. It's not just like, the current ones just feel to me too much like, all right, here's a wide open world, now go play Minecraft in it. I go, cool. I don't want to do that.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's really all it would take for me to be interested. Is just quit being such a gimmick of a system.
Gotcha. But they always have to do something a little different each gen.
Yeah,
so I'm
it's
curious
Nintendo.
to see
That's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it looks like we are just about done with this episode, unless, well, actually, you know what it is? How did I think about it? Right around this time of year, don't we get a visit from an old friend of ours, don't we? Phil, don't one of your old buddies likes to come over?
Yeah, I was really hoping he wouldn't show up this year, but as things go, it just happened. Damn it!
Hello once again, it is I, the freaky fanboy, Retro Game Frankenstein. For those of you who don't know me, I am just like regular Frankenstein, only I am made from retro video games. For example, my left knee is made from Clock Tower and my sphincter is Silent Hill. Over the past year, my wife and I split up. It's okay though, it was a mutual decision. She got the house, car, and my Franken dog, and I got to keep the credit card debt. But oh well, life goes on, I guess. I still have my horror collection, which is why I'm here. Every October, I assign a spooky video game for Roger, Phil, and Mike to review. This week's game is Darkwood. It is a survival horror game that has you gathering resources during the day and trying to survive unimaginable horrors at night. And boy howdy, is this one a doozy. I got so scared when I played this game, I accidentally pooped my pants. But since I am made from retro games, I pooped out more retro games. So, hooray for me. Well anywho, enjoyed the game, gentlemen. I can't wait to hear what you thought of it. So until next week, Retro Game Frankenstein, out.
Slow down, there's kids in this neighborhood!
How do you get a motorcycle in your room?
I don't know. Man, that guy shows up out of nowhere all the time.
That's what happens when you go through a divorce, though. Like, you
get yourself a motorcycle.
Yep. And he just took off. He didn't even give us a chance to have a conversation. Well, thanks, Frank.
Yeah, no kidding. I just hope that he didn't hit anybody's dogs, cats, or children that are out there right now, man. That guy hauled ass, and I live in a cul-de-sac, too.
That's true, yeah.
It's good to hear from him again.
Maybe he'll probably be fine, because I'm sure part of him is road rash, so he knows how to drive a motorcycle at that point.
I'm going to go outside and find a Castlevania Symphony of the Night just laying in the middle of the road.
Yeah. All right, so that's our good friend Retro Game Frankenstein. Our spooky game for the first week of October is going to be Darkwood, and that looks actually pretty scary. So I'm looking forward to playing it.
And what is that all available on? I know for sure it's on the Xbox. Is it on other systems too? Do you know off the top of your head?
Yeah, you could also get it on the Switch and the PlayStation, and if it's on all those three, I'm sure it's also on PC.
That's a fair point.
Yeah. So. Can't wait to play that one. Looks like it does look pretty spooky. So, all right, so good. So that just about does it for this week's episode of the Gamerheads. Phil, what's up?
Now that Retro Game Frankenstein showed up, I have a strange feeling we're not going to see Roger for another couple of weeks, so we can get the hell out of all this horror stuff.
Yeah, that's his. Yep, that's his out. He's
just on the lam.
Yes. We're issuing one of those alerts for him where they put his vehicle information on the highway. He's avoiding us. He doesn't like those scary games.
Damn it, Roger. We're on to you.
Yeah. That's all right. We'll just push it into November, too. There we go.
I thought we were doing No Shave November where we're just going to play games with bearded people.
We could do that. Yeah.
That'd be kind of funny, actually.
Yeah, we could have a bearded Frankenstein show up. He's just like regular Frankenstein. He's just a giant beard.
A giant talking beard.
There you go. GBF. Giant bearded face. Anyway. That's another reference. I'll let you know what it was later.
Got it.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that just about does it for this week's episode of the Gamerheads Podcast. Phil, if anybody wants to get a hold of you on social media, how can they reach you?
You can find me on Twitter at bnow23. I also just realized I pronounced those T's very, very pronounced. Twitter.
Well, you can also find me on Twitter at PezGuyMike. And Phil, where can we go if we want to follow any information on Gamerheads?
Hell, dude, I don't know. You think I follow us?
Gamerheads Pod.
On Twitter? He's at Steamy Raj.
Steamy Raj.
He's at Steamy Raj on Twitter, or just Nintendo Raj, because he's still refusing to be steamy, even though he's on the lam. Again, if you want to read reviews, you can go to gamerheadspodcast.com, read reviews from the three of us, as well as Trina, who's been on the show a handful of times, and some others have written reviews as well, and I think there's more people working on them too. Also, coverage from PAX East, West, North, South, Midwest, Mid-South, Dirty South, Great White North, and PAX Mexico is also on
there. Nice. That's a lot of PAXs.
It packs a punch.
Oh God. Okay, we're done. All right. Well,
come on, that was the breaking point.
No, that was good. But you're also remember, I had a long day today, so it didn't take much. So all right. Well, thanks so much for hanging out with us, everybody. Until next week, stay safe. Game on. So long, everybody. Good night.
Take care.